Hey guys, today I am updating to Sequoia on my Mac Pro 6.1. It just came out, popped up on my software update. I'm already running Opencore 2.0, Opencore Legacy Patcher 2.0.0. That has already been updated, so from what I understand, I should just be able to update through software update like you would anytime you're updating macOS. I do know that you normally have to download the entire installer, 14 gigs, which of course this is the first install. I'm already running the beta of Sequoia. As you can see, I've got the tree background, the desktop. So now I'm going to be installing Sequoia. And so far I have 0 people watching. I saw one person. So we're in software updates. We're gonna hit update now. Now the other thing is, I have found that the Mac Pro 6.1 has been very finicky with the internet since I put Sequoia on here. In fact, it's completely crapped out my router so that my other computers couldn't get online, and I had to reboot the router, and it seems to be Sequoia running on the 6.1 that was causing this router issue. But right now it seems to be online and working. So I'm going to hit update now and we're going to see what happens. And it's downloading. It's downloading pretty quickly. Oh, Opencore. You know, I should be doing a screen capture of this. So I'm going to do that with QuickTime, if it'll let me. And QuickTime, screen recording. By the way, this is the Steam Deck I'm giving away on my channel. If you haven't written a review for iTech Guy yet, look at my last video. It tells you how to do it. I'm going to be announcing the winner in a couple of days. And I'm behind on that, I know it, but life has been crazy. Let's see. You know, I can't see the chat here. Oh, there, I see somebody waving. What's going on? So it's a big Sequoia release date. So we're going to update. Opencore Legacy Patcher has detected that macOS update is being downloaded. The patcher needs to prepare the system for the update and will download any additional resources it may need post-update. This may take a few minutes. The patcher will exit when it's done. Okay. Why that's open. Go back to Opencore and see if it's doing anything. Whoa. I just uploaded a video about 2.0.0 and now 2.0.1 is out. So we're going to download and install that while we're downloading Sequoia. Interesting. Anybody else install Sequoia yet? I'm using my Mac Pro 6.1 as my test unit for this. I don't use it really. I did edit a video with Final Cut yesterday. And I updated my Mac Pro 7.1 to Sonoma today. I will not be updating it to Sequoia yet because I got to use Pro Tools, and who knows when Sequoia is going to be working with Pro Tools. That's my 7.1 is my main audio mixing computer at the moment. Used to be my 5.1. Not using Sequoia, I just upgraded to Ventura to Sonoma this weekend. Yep, gonna stick with Sonoma on the 7.1 and see how it runs. You know, I've had Monterey on it. I never updated to Ventura, and I've only had the 7.1 for about 4 months now. Update of Opencore is complete. Patcher has updated to the latest version, 2.0.1. Would you like to update Opencore on your root volume? Would you like to update Opencore and your root volume patches? Yes, I would. So we're going to install that to disk. It's rebuilt Opencore. I was having internet issues with Sequoia and 2.0.0. So we'll see if that gets fixed. We're installing it to the internal drive on the Mac Pro 6,1. I already have Sonoma Beta, so I don't have to build a whole installer and do the USB thing. I'm just updating. Success. Now is it going to make me reboot? Usually when you do a new install, you have to reboot. We're doing the root patching first. Yeah, see, it's skipping the KDK, the graphics package, because it's already installed. So it's just double checking everything. Let's see what this does. Little arrow does nothing. So how do I see people's comments on here? I guess they just pop up. Fixing the Wi-Fi. Rebuilding boot system kernel collections. Sequoia's only got 3 minutes left on the download. I'm connected via Ethernet, not Wi-Fi, so it's downloading pretty quickly. We'll see how it goes. I just thought I'd do this live for a change because I never do this really. Don't do a lot of live videos. And of course it's quite boring because we're just downloading stuff, but we'll see. Reboot to apply. Now see, I gotta reboot to apply the patches and I'm in the middle of downloading. So I'm gonna let it finish downloading first and then reboot because I don't want to interrupt the download. We got 10.88 gigs of the 14 gigs of the installer. We got 2 minutes left. I am going to try doing this on my 5,1 as well. And Sequoia seemed to run pretty well on here except for my internet issues. It was doing something weird to my router and making my router, unless it was something else causing it, but it seemed to be coming from this. The internet was working, then it wasn't working as far as just using Safari goes. And then all the other devices in my house kind of stopped working on the internet. Then I rebooted the router, everything came back, and then it started doing it on this computer again, and then the other computers followed. So once I shut this down, all the other computers were running fine after another reboot of my router. So something funny going on, and someone else made the same comment on the Facebook user page, Opencore Legacy Patcher page, saying they had the same exact issue with the internet. So I don't know if I should bring the stand over or not. I'm not gonna. And last night I just updated from the beta version of 2.0.0 to the real version of 2.0.0. And then 2.0.1 came out today, so they must have had to do a little patch, and I wonder if that has something to do with the internet issue. "17 seconds left. Okay. What failed to prepare the software update? Please try again. Well, we got to reboot because of Opencore, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, we got to quit my screen capture. Let's see if that's going to pop up or not. Still doing something. So it looks like update now is available. Well, let's see. Quit. Don't quit. Now, I haven't tried doing any screen captures with QuickTime since I did the update. All right, I'm just going to quit it. And we're going to restart. And I also want to pull out my old thumb drive, because if it tries to boot off of that, so we should be, there's our little Opencore bootloader. So we should be booting with Opencore 2.0.1. And then we'll see if the Sequoia installer is downloaded in my applications folder. But Opencore Legacy Patcher always has to go in and patch the actual installer. I have an M2 Air, but I don't think I'm going to hop on Sequoia with that one yet, just because that is my main Pro Tools rig for recording shows. I'm on Sonoma, and I got to see what the chats and the Pro Tools folks say about Sonoma. I don't think it's going to be ready. It never is right away. It takes them usually 6 months before they approve a new operating system with Pro Tools, or longer. But Sonoma just seems to be a small upgrade from, Sequoia doesn't seem to be that big of an update. Now, I would have thought Opencore Legacy Patcher would have popped up here. Well, it's still booting. It's running pretty warm. Just letting it settle in a little, and then we'll launch Opencore Legacy Patcher and see what it has to say. So it says I got 2.0.1 running, and obviously my graphics are good, and it looks like my internet is good. So we're going to just go back to the software update. Let's see. I'm going to see if it should have downloaded the entire installer, but I don't see it. It's called install. Huh. Usually the installer for the OS goes right in your applications folder, but but I don't see it there. And I did get a message saying it failed. So we can quit Opencore Legacy Patcher, go back to the available update, update now. Yeah, now it's downloading it yet again. Well, it's only got 3 minutes left, so it's a little weird. Maybe Opencore Legacy Patcher ditched it because it hadn't been updated yet. But to download 14 gigs in 2 minutes, pardon me, is a little weird. So it's got 2 minutes to go, and it's downloaded 4 gigs out of 14 gigs. So some of it must already be downloaded because it was taking longer than that the first time I did it. Who knows the mystery of the updates? But I just updated my Mac Pro 7.1 to Sonoma today, and so far it's running pretty well. You know, I think the Mac Pro 6.1 is a great little audio computer because you can pick them up for so cheap. You know, in the US anyway, they're like $150 to $300. I got the 8-core, not the 12-core, because the 8-core has the faster single-core clock speed. And I was running an older version of Logic on it because I didn't have the newer operating system, but it was running fine, ran really well. And I've been editing some Final Cut stuff. You know, rendering takes quite a bit longer. But what's interesting is, if you look in iStat here, the OS uses both graphics cards. I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't. It's too small. But let's see. Can I zoom in? I can't zoom in. But yeah, the OS is using both graphics cards. And when I do Final Cut, I can see that it's using both GPUs. So it's interesting that it's still using both of them. So we're down to 13 gigs. We want 1 more gig to go. Oh, iStat, it's great. They just updated it though, and I don't know if I love the update. I haven't really played around with it yet, but they kind of changed stuff around. But it's a really good utility. You know, if you have a Mac Pro with like a GPU in it, you're not going to see the temperatures and stuff like that. But if it's a built-in GPU in a Mac, then you get to see the graphics card, the temperatures of the graphics card, and stuff like that. Martin Lowe had a little utility that allowed you to see that information if you were using his Opencore Legacy, his Opencore package. But you know, unfortunately, Martin Lowe ends at Monterey for the Mac Pro 5.1, and that's what that package was for. And if you're going to stick with Monterey, it's probably the best way to go. There's no patching to the OS. It just is Opencore set up to work with the Mac Pro 5.1, but you can't go above Monterey. And of course, I had an RX 6800 XT. I can't use that in Sonoma or Sequoia. It only works in Monterey because Apple went and injected the AVX2 stuff into the drivers or the system, and for some reason old graphics cards work with that via patching with Opencore Legacy Patcher, but they have not found a way around the AVX2 instructions with an RX 6600, 6800, 6900. So sadly, the graphics card I originally had working great in my Mac Pro with Monterey, I can't use it anymore, and I'm probably going to sell it. It's been patched to work in macOS, but Monterey is the only OS that it works in. 35, what? Oh, okay. Well, we got past the download, and now it says 35 minutes remaining. So, you know, we'll see how long it actually takes, because it usually goes by quicker than that. But anybody got any questions? Because obviously I got some time to kill. That's my main computer setup back there. That's my Mac Pro 7.1. My mixing board, which is a Midas M32R. And that's where I do all my mixing. I just mix the show for Slash, and then I just mixed a show for Skunk Baxter. The shows are called Live at the Analog in Nashville. We've been doing some tapings down there. We film different artists. I'm also mixing a country guy I got to start today. I'm not thinking of his name, but he's pretty famous. I'm terrible with names. Slash, I remember. Skunk Baxter, I remember. This new guy, I got to look it up. But yeah, the old 7.1 is pretty good. Of course, you won't get the new bells and whistles that Sequoia will have for the M2 stuff, but you know, I got a MacBook Air, so I'll be able to check those things out. It's an M2 MacBook Air, but I'm not going to install Sequoia on it just yet. I was not able to get my iPhone to use the new iPhone app in Sequoia. Now, how do I see my chats here? I got to get to the chat stuff. Add as monitor, put in timeout. What is that thing? That's like top chat, live chat, all messages are visible. Have you attempted this update on your 5.1? I have not. My 5.1's running Sonoma. That's going to be next, and I'll make a video about it. I will be installing Sequoia on my 5.1, just because my 5.1 is sort of like my 6.1, a test machine. You know, I probably should sell these things, but they're not worth much, so I just keep them around, make videos on them when I have time, which I have not had a lot of time lately. I've been working a lot. Let's see, we got 35 minutes left still. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming for 35 minutes of waiting for Sequoia to do its thing, but maybe I'll get a little lunch and then I'll pop back on live and see what's going on. How do I get my chat on the screen? No, I'm going to take the phone off of here for a second. Great old Mac for tinkering is happy time. Yes, I love to tinker myself. That's what my whole channel has been about. Let's see, I'm going to rotate, and I think I can rotate there. No, that's just showing the backside of my messy room. Where's the rotate button? That flips the camera. I don't think you can rotate once you're streaming. But how do I get the chat on here? It's quite... I don't know. I see your comments pop up and then they fade off. Guess if I watch on another device. It says we're stuck on 35 minutes still. Now this kind of thing has happened before where you get downloading. I just want to see if the installer actually downloaded all the way. It should be in the applications folder. Huh. I don't see it. I do not see it. I'll put that right there. She could be stuck, folks. I'm not sure. Still says 35 minutes. I put my cursor right by the line, so if it moves, I'll know it, but it could be stuck. Yeah, they're never accurate. This is true. I could play you a song. Let's see. It could also be that the whole internet thing is getting weird. I'm gonna check on my other computer and just see if I'm still online here. Cursor. Ouch. Yep, still online. Apple stock is tanking today. I guess they're not selling that many iPhone 16s. Oh, sorry, I missed the Steam Deck thing. What was about the Steam Deck? Steam Deck is sitting right here, ready for the giveaway. I'm gonna do that in a couple of days. Announce the winner. Which I know I said I was gonna do that in my last video, but I've been busy. I think we're stuck. It's not moving, it's not doing diddly squat. Usually the preparing goes by pretty quick. It's the download that gets stuck. All right, you know what? Maybe if I go on my iPad, I'll be able to see these comments, because they're just coming, fading in and out on the phone. How do you join your own live video content? Live. Nope. I gotta search myself on YouTube. Mac Sound Solutions. There I am. All right. Finale is dead in Sequoia. I mean, that's what Apple always does. Kills stuff off. Does Logic 11 run on Intel? I believe it does. It just doesn't have all the things that, all the bells and whistles of the AI stuff. To answer the question about the 8-core, the 12-core Mac Pro 6,1, it's been shown that there's just a slight edge for the 12 cores over the 8 cores, but the single core is a lot better on the 8-core. Therefore, I would say the 8-core is the sweet spot for a Mac Pro 6,1. And I got mine with the D500s. I mean, this thing, it's a heater. It heats your room. Those things run hot, and you have a little chimney just putting heat into your room all the time. So when I'm not using that thing, it's off because it generates heat. If you live in a cold place, great, you know. But if you're in a place where you need air conditioning all the time, not so great. I mean, all the computers put out heat. My 7,1 gets hot as well. And my MacBook Air, the M2, that thing is totally cool all the time. It never gets hot on me. Winter is coming on North Hemisphere. Oh, winter is coming. Yes, winter. I was thinking about the Steam Deck. Winter, no, winter, yes. Yeah, I'm sure in the wintertime, you know, my wife comes up here and she's like, of course you're comfortable, you're in the room with all the heat, whereas the rest of the house is quite cool. I'm on the East Coast in New York, and it gets, you know, chilly, of course, and I try and keep that heating bill down, and she's always dialing up the heat. And I'm up here in my comfy, cozy, computer heated studio. I had a Titan Ridge card and it's sitting right here, and I'm probably gonna sell it because I just really had no use for it. I mean, I got the McFiver, which is an expensive card, but you know, it's 3-in-1, so I was able to put in that fatter graphics card and then still have high-speed NVMe, USB-C ports, and gigabit Ethernet. So the Titan Ridge, I don't use anything. I have never had a Thunderbolt interface in my entire life. Well, that's not true. I did have well, it was PCIe. It wasn't Thunderbolt. Can you put an RTX 40 series in the 5.1? No, you cannot. I mean, you might be able to put it in there and boot into Windows if you had two. I don't know how big the 40 is. I'm not even sure what the 40 is. Older, there's a list of graphics cards that work with Opencore Legacy Patcher in the 5.1, and there are a few old Kepler NVIDIA cards that work, but newer ones do not. Now, I know in a Mac Pro 7.1, a guy who put a 4090 in it, and he has a RX 6900 XT and a 4090. Oh, hey, it's rebooting. I wasn't watching. Were you watching? Did you see that? Let me. We're rebooting. So good thing I didn't shut it down, which somebody said. You never know while it's doing that 35 minutes and looks like it's stuck. I haven't heard the chime yet. Did you hear the chime? I did not notice it. I did not hear a boot chime. So when it does the initial reboots, it's usually very slow. You gotta wait. You know, I didn't hear the chime. But my ears are ringing from all the mixing I've been doing. So, and the chime on the 6 one is quiet, unlike the 7 one that's like, chong, super loud chime. I also have a little Mac Mini over here I use as a DVR. All right, macOS installer. Well, it's just automatically selecting it. And that was the Opencore bootloader. You'd be getting the big circle with a cross through it if Opencore was not installed properly. So yeah, we're installing Sequoia on the Mac Pro 6.1, updating from the beta version. So back to the Titan Ridge. The thing I didn't like about it is you always had to cold boot your computer, plug in a Thunderbolt device, and then reboot, and then it would work, like say a Thunderbolt drive. And I know people who use it with Thunderbolt monitors, and that works for them, and I don't think they have to do the whole cold boot reboot because it's really just a pass-through from their video card. But if you want to use like a Thunderbolt audio interface or a Thunderbolt hard drive, then you have to do the cold boot reboot for it to see it. So to me, that was just too much of a nuisance. But it did work really well as just a standard USB-C drive. Non-Thunderbolt drives could just be plugged in and they worked. But I think I'll be selling my card. I have a bunch of stuff I got to get on eBay. First, I want to redo the thermal paste on my RX 6800. I got all these GPUs sitting right here. I have an RX 5700. I got the MPX module from my Mac Pro 5,1 that I'm not using because I put in a 6900 XT. All right, we're ready to boot into macOS. Then that might be the last reboot. Do you think Opencore Legacy Patcher will continue doing the same for Intel machines running Silicon OS? I don't know what you mean by that. The same for Intel machines running Silicon OS. Well, I mean, the last OS was a Silicon OS, right? When it goes pure Silicon, no. I don't think they'll be able to do anything about it. Apple's still in the transition with the OS because it still supports the Mac Pro 7,1 and a few other Macs. So when they go 100% Silicon OS, I don't think Intel will be able to, unless you can set up like a virtual machine somehow. But I don't think so. I think it'll be the end of the road. And that end is coming pretty soon. But, I bought a Mac Pro 7,1 and it's got Apple Care. So that kind of means that they have to support it for another 3 years. Yeah, I mean, once you get to Sonoma on the Mac Pro 5,1, honestly, I think Monterey is the place to stay, unless, especially if you're using it as a day-to-day computer. Because certain things just stop working. And I have it on mine. I have Sonoma on mine, but honestly, I'm not using it much, so I don't even know of the trouble I might run into. It's rebooting again, a third reboot. And there it is. Let's see how quickly it boots. The beta version was booting pretty slow. Whereas my MacBook Air with Sonoma, that thing boots, very quickly. My Mac Pro 7,1 with, well, I haven't even timed it yet, with Monterey was booting pretty quick. But this guy, the 6,1, takes a fair amount of time to boot, and it looks like that hasn't changed. It's kind of slow, and then all of a sudden it goes zip, and it's done. This is funny. I'm looking at my iPad, and I can see how much delay there is in the video. Okay, we're getting in there. Come on, Sequoia. Oh, did another little reboot thing. You know, Apple never tells you your computer's going to reboot 3 or 4 times. It's going to get laggy, you know. Even when it's a supported computer, these installs have gotten, 15 gigs in size. In the old days, well, I don't want to go back there, because I'm an old guy. I got to get this done because I got to get cracking on a mix, which I'll be spending 3 days on. I was supposed to go fishing today, but instead I got a job to do. So that's life as a freelancer. Nine minutes. Wow. I was not expecting another lengthy reboot. Gosh. And I'm only going from the beta install to the full install, but apparently it's just completely replacing it. Any more questions while I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs? Let's pull this in a little bit. Eight minutes to go. What time is it? Oh my goodness, my daughter's going to be careening into this room any moment. I may have to end my stream. I can hear her. She's coming in, folks. And I don't really want to put my daughter online in my live stream, so I may have to cut off and come back. Well, it went from 6 minutes back to 7 minutes. I'm looking down here to look at your comments. We got 13 viewers, folks, 13. Let me see who it is I'm mixing next. I'm going to download that file. Reference audio, multi-track. Download 15 gigs. Coexel. Coexel? Anybody heard of Coexel, Country Star? Dust off that 6.1. Why not? You know, they still have their purpose. You can still do stuff with them. And they look cool. Now, what if Apple decided to redo the 6.1? Why not? They could make that the new Mac Studio. And fill it with some dual M4 Ultra chips. And then you have that fan design and it would be super quiet and it runs cool anyway, but when you did really have to push the graphics and stuff, you have that nice airflow. What's it doing? 5 minutes remaining. Come on, desktop. I've already seen the slow panning, whatever frame rate they droned that footage at, probably 240 frames per second at 8K or something. I don't know. It looks pretty darn good. Yeah, well, they should have just ditched the Mac Pro, unless they were going to give us, like, I don't know why Apple isn't making their own graphics cards that you can put in there for more acceleration. Those Mac Pros are so non-upgradable. So you might as well just have a Mac Studio. But you know, the one thing about the Mac Pro is you can get in there and clean out the dust, whereas the Mac Studio, it's just like a vacuum sucking in dust and filling up with dust, and you void the warranty if you open it. Four minutes to desktop. I really didn't expect it to do another reboot. But I'm thinking of updating just for fun. Use my Wi-Fi card. Well, my Wi-Fi and Bluetooth work on my 5.1, but I had, when I updated it to Sonoma, because it's an upgraded card, the Bluetooth stopped working and I could not get it working for the life of me. And then I, you know, after scouring the internet, I found a way around it, which is to bypass Opencore Legacy's Patcher, which spoofs the legacy Wi-Fi card to get it to work. So it was spoofing my card, and you know, that was the problem. So when I turned that kext off using Opencore Configurator, which is a separate app, that worked. I hear my daughter coming. Hello?
Victoria.
I know it's you.
Hi, Dada.
Hi, sweet.
Dada, color eyes. Dada.
Oh,
Pretzels.
chocolate pretzels. I want one of those.
Well, first I gotta have lunch.
Yeah, okay, you go have lunch. I have to do some work here. I'm still working, so you go have lunch, and then we're gonna have some pretzels. Okay?
How about we can get a picnic?
Okay. I'll
How
come back
about-
in a few minutes.
How about picnic, like in Paramount picnic?
I'm still working.
How about in Paramount we can have a picnic?
Maybe in a little bit.
Well, how about we need to bring one blanket, the soft one? Maybe there's
Soft
space.
blanket and have a picnic?
Well, maybe or that blanket.
That one doesn't go outside. That's your blanket.
Yeah.
Okay.
See you, Dada. See you, Dada.
See you in a little bit, sweets.
See you, Dada.
Bye, Doodles. I didn't lock it. I didn't lock it. 2 minutes left, folks. 2 minutes left. Oh, Norway. We got Norway in the house? Nice. Yeah, she's a cutie. She's the apple of my eye, my sweet daughter, who's turning 6 in 2 days. And I am 64 years old, so it's a little crazy. Norway. iMac Pro and a Mac Pro trash. Congrats on the 3-year-old. You know, having a kid is life-changing and it sucks up a huge amount of your time, but it's totally worth it, especially at my age. It's like, I didn't do it before, and I'm happy we did. But we only have one kid. I could not imagine having like 4 kids, nor could I afford it. But if you can afford it, have as many as you want. as long as you take care of them. Nice. Hey, we're ready to sign into my Apple account. We're signing in, folks. Still got a black screen though, which is not very Apple-like. So I'm wondering what's going on here. Ooh, welcome to my Mac in black. You know, when I did the beta, I think it was white. We're gonna hit continue. Now notice that my Bluetooth has been working the whole time with this update. Sometimes that does not happen. Yep, good old Opencore has detected you're running without root patches. Would you like to install them? macOS wipes all the root patches during OS installs. I mean, you gotta love Opencore Legacy Patcher because they talk you through the entire process. Now, there's all these guys on the internet, on YouTube, showing you how to do it like I do. But honestly, they walk you through it and they make it very clear. And as long as you read what they're saying, you should be good to go. All right, we're going to install our root patches yet again. See, now it's downloading the KDK, which is interesting because I could swear when I did the beta, it didn't have to do that. But maybe I'm wrong about that. Yeah, they are really solid and they deserve, like, everybody should pitch in and give them a tip because, you know, what's interesting is you would think they'd have their own YouTube channel, but maybe they want to remain anonymous or something. But they list who the developers are. So we're root patching yet again. There's the KDK getting loaded in. See, KDK is already installed and it's skipping it. So it's just double checking now that we did the OS install and it finalized. It's double checking to make sure everything is patched properly. Overwriting a driver. Well, it's overwriting the drivers. Checksums, match, skipping, installed Torian Opencore Legacy Patcher, macOS update.plist, rebuilding boot and system kernel collections. And it's going to ask me to reboot yet again for the post patches to, reboot. Of course, I should have been doing a screen capture of all of this, but you know, with all the rebooting, it makes it difficult. Yep, 2.0.1, which just came out today, which I just uploaded a video right before it popped up on my computer about 2.0.0. We're doing Sequoia. I got to the stream late. Is it still Sono or it's Sequoia? Sequoia is what we're updating to. And I had the Sequoia beta on here with 2.0.0 Opencore Legacy Patcher version. Then I updated to 2.0.1, installed Sequoia, and no internet problems, which I was having yesterday. There was something weird going on. Maybe it was just Verizon, I don't know, but it seemed to be coming from this computer. But so far, it's downloaded everything properly and it's online. I'm not using the Wi-Fi, I'm connected via Ethernet, but I'll turn the Wi-Fi on in a minute. Handoff and all that stuff was working. You can't use the iPhone app to have it on your screen with an Intel machine. That is only, of course, Apple's. Here we go. And we're finally into Sequoia. You guys have hung with me for almost 55 minutes. That's crazy. There she is. And for some reason, if you didn't have your graphics package installed, you'd probably have a white screen. Let's just see. We're going to put it into screensaver mode. As you can see, the screensaver works on the old Mac Pro. There she is, running hot. If you run these screensavers, they are just very GPU intensive, and they make this thing starts kicking out the heat. But there we are. We got Sequoia installed. And we're just going to go to About This Mac. And yep, 15.0. Everything seems pretty smooth. Oh, it automatically turned on my Wi-Fi as well. Mac does things like that. Like I had my Wi-Fi off, now it's back on, and I didn't turn it on. The OS did. They're starting to control us, folks. Yep, iPhone mirroring works on 7.1. Does it? Oh, that's good to know. Have you tried it? You actually did try it? Well, mirroring works, but does it work with the new app? I mean, mirroring works with this. I can mirror my phone to the computer. But the new app, which I'll go find it, it should be in the dock, like Apple sticks it in your dock. There it is, iPhone mirroring. We'll try it. Maybe we'll get lucky because I was running the beta, but I have a feeling it will not. I probably got to unlock my phone. Yes, well, my phone is unlocked, but there we go. We'll unlock it. And see, set up later. Try again. Nope. See, I just go into an unlock situation. Set up later. And I have read that it only works with Apple Silicon computers. It doesn't work with Intel. So if it works with the 7.1, the 7.1 is officially supported by the OS, yes, but there are things that it cannot do. Any of the Apple, you know, not all of it, but a lot of the AI stuff is not going to work on a 7.1. And the mirroring of the iPhone, the new app, is not going to work either, as far as I know. There's no T2 chip on the 6.1. 7.1 has a T2 chip. So, you know, time will tell, obviously, but what I read is you had to have an M Mac to use the iPhone mirroring. Apple says that on their website, so it doesn't sound like it's going to work. And with this computer, I can't, usually I'm not able to use my iPad as a secondary screen. That doesn't work either. Handoff works, but let's try the iPad just for fun. Monitors, and add a display. It'll see the iPad sometimes. See, I can, oh yeah, Lance's iPad. Let's try it. It's showing up. Whoa. It looked like it was going to do it, and then it didn't do it. So that's never worked for me, the mirroring or using your iPad as a secondary screen with the Intel computers. It works with, I think it works with my 7.1. It definitely works with my MacBook Air. But anyway, it's time to kill the stream, folks. Thanks a lot for tuning in. My next video will probably be announcing the winner of the Steam Deck. which is right here. It's an OLED Steam Deck that was given to me to give away by iTech Guy. And if you want a chance to win that, you got to go watch my last video from last week. And I'll be sending that out shortly and announcing the winner in a video this week. So thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.